Hello to everyone. My name is Kim Anderson. Thank you for coming to practice yoga with me. We're going to do a half-hour vinyasa flow that is covering our full body, but really going to lengthen out our sides and our hamstrings. So this is good. In particular, it can really help for those of us who are seated a lot, and this is a practice that you can do both in the morning or the evening. So any time of day works perfectly. And if you've not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, then I ask you to please do that so you can see all the new videos and updates as they come out. Let's get started. So we're going to start our practice in child's pose. Gently bring your forehead to the mat, lengthen your arms out in front of you with your palms facing down, and close your eyes. Begin to feel your body getting heavier onto the mat and really lengthen out your breathing with inhales and exhales for the same duration. Deep breathing in and out of your nose. Trying to melt away any tension that you've got, that you're holding on to. And just allowing yourself to slow down. And then continuing your deep breathing. Trying to maintain that fluidity, we're going to begin to incorporate a little bit of movement. So bringing your awareness into your hands, begin to press your palms a little bit more firmly into the ground. Spread out your fingers and gaze between your hands. Opening your eyes, and from here, begin to walk your hands to the right side of your mat. Your hands are shoulders distance apart, and really pushing your left side body over toward the left. Getting a little space in between your ribs. And then walking back to the center and walking your hands over to the other side, to the left. Lengthening out your right side body. Pushing into your hands. And then gently walking yourself back to center. Spread your fingers wide and shift yourself forward onto hands and knees. And here it's really important to check the alignment. So wrists directly below the shoulders, your knees are directly below your hips. And lengthen your spine by pushing the crown of your head forward and your tailbone back, engaging your core by pulling in your belly button. This is a really active pose. You can start to imagine you're dragging your hands toward each other. They don't move, but really heating up the inside of your arms. And then without losing this activation, especially in your core, from here, you're going to begin to drop your belly down, pull your heart forward in between your arms, push your tailbone back. And then exhaling, a nice curve in your spine, like you're trying to push your shoulder blades wide apart. Inhale as you come back down with your belly, heart forward. And then exhale, back up, dropping your gaze between your knees. Inhale one more time, lengthening, looking forward. And exhale, a nice curve in your spine. On your next inhale, you're going to drop your belly down and then begin to do some free movement. So it doesn't really matter what it looks like. Just feel into your body, making circles or just swaying side to side with your ribs and loosening up a little bit. Don't be afraid to move freely. This is your practice, and be curious about the different sensations you're creating in your body. From here, tuck your toes, and then begin to lengthen your right leg out behind you, placing it at the back of the mat, Come on to your left hand and start to raise your right hand up toward the ceiling and over your right ear. Again, stretching out the side body in a modified side plank pose. Look down, bring your right hand back down, come back into tabletop. Inhale, belly drops, looking forward, and exhale, really opening your upper back and pushing into the mat. From here, shift your weight into your right knee and lengthen your left leg behind you. And you're going to put your left foot to the back of the mat so it's lining up with your right foot, knee, and hand. Left hand up and then over your left ear, really stretching into the left side body. Begin to look down, bring your left hand back down, come back to center. So realigning your knees underneath your hips and your wrists below your shoulders, engaging your core. And from here, begin to put your weight into your left hand, reach your right hand up toward the ceiling. If it feels okay on your neck, you can look up. And then sweep your right arm below your left arm and bring your right shoulder and right ear to the ground. You can walk your left fingertips forward to the top of your mat and stretch out your left arm. Try to push your tailbone up to the sky as you really weight down into your right shoulder and right ear. Bring your left hand back and then inhale, bring your right hand back up to the sky. And then exhale, come back to center. Switching sides, you're going to raise your left hand now up to the sky. And then exhale, sweep your left hand underneath you, coming down onto your shoulder and your ear as you push your tailbone up to the sky. You can walk your right fingertips forward and really try to sink in as much as you can as you exhale into your shoulder and your ear, lengthening out your spine. On an inhale, come back, bring your left hand back up to the sky, and then exhale back to center. On an inhale, engage your core, drop your belly, look forward. And on an exhale, you're going to start to drag your hips back toward your heels. Inhale to come forward slowly until your shoulders are above your wrists, and exhale, looking forward, drag yourself back. Inhale together with your breath forward, and then exhale, sliding back. Inhale, again come forward, really widening your scapula. And exhale, this time bend your elbows softly, bring your pelvis to the ground, and laying your belly on the ground, widen your hands, wider than your mat, with your elbows pointing up. Engage into your feet, pushing them into the mat. Your pubic bone pushes down, and inhale to raise yourself up. Exhale, coming back down, trying to bring your heart 1 centimeter forward. Inhale as you come up. The last thing you raise up is your head. You don't have to lengthen out your arms if you don't want to. Exhale, coming back down. Inhale, rolling yourself up, really feeling into your back body. Exhale, continuing to engage your legs and rolling yourself back down. Bring your hands next to your ribs, elbows close to your body. Look forward and inhale, come onto hands and knees. Exhale, slide yourself back. Inhale with a rounded spine, come forward, gaze between your knees, and then on an exhale, pushing into your toes, lift your knees, engaging your core, and slide your ribs back toward your thighs to come into downward facing dog. Your hips pushing up toward the ceiling, your tailbone reaching up. Fingers spread wide, shoulder distance apart, and your feet are hips distance apart. Spread your toes really wide as well, really gripping onto the mat. And your weight is distributed evenly between your legs and your arms. Belly button pulling in, your ears, the top of your ears lengthening toward your thumbs to give some space to your neck. Take a couple of deep breaths. Really feel into it. And then come on your tippy toes and start to walk your feet behind your hands, hips distance apart, and fold forward. Here you can let your hands come to the ground, or you can grab your elbows with your hands and let yourself swing back and forth, really loosening up into it. You can bend your knees a little. Try to lengthen your spine. Imagine you've got a heavy weight on the top of your head that's just pulling it closer and closer to the ground, giving you some space in your back body. Hands drop down. With knees softly bent, roll yourself up to standing, one vertebra at a time. Bring your hands above your head, hook your thumbs, and on an exhale, you're going to push your left ribs over to the left. Inhale to come up, and exhale, right side body to the right. Inhale to center, and exhale, you're going to dive forward, heart first, arms spread wide. Bring your hands below your shoulders. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, swing your right leg back, your toes pointing down, lengthen out, and then bring your right foot to the back of the mat, sinking down onto your right knee. Inhale, come up into low lunge, pushing into your left foot. And on an exhale, you're going to start to slide your hips back. Open your arms wide and bring your fingers to the ground as you lengthen your left leg out, pushing your left heel into the mat and trying to pull your left hip back to get into your hamstrings on your left side. Spread your left toes wide. On an inhale, bend into your left leg, come up into high lunge, powerfully pushing into both legs. Try to square your hips by pulling your right hip forward, left hip back. And then on an exhale, you're going to begin to bring your hands down to the ground as you lengthen your left leg. Pull your left hip back. And again, we're going into the back of your left leg, into the hamstrings. Pull your left hip toward the back of the mat. Look forward, lift your right leg, and then bring your right foot up to meet your left foot. Forward fold. You can sway back and forth again. Try to let go of any tension that might have bubbled up. Inhale, come up halfway, and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale again, engaging your core. Roll yourself up. Bring your hands up to meet above you, thumbs hooking. Exhale, left side body to the left. Inhale to center, and then exhale, right side body to the right. Inhale to center, and exhale, swan dive forward, bringing your hands down below your shoulders. Inhale, lift halfway. And then exhale, you're going to sweep your left leg behind you, your toes pointing down. Try to pull your left hip away from your left armpit, and then begin to lower your left foot to the back of the mat and come onto your knee. Inhale into low lunge, and here your legs are both equally active. You're really dragging your left knee forward, your right heel back. On your exhale, you're going to start to open your arms wide, shift your hips back as you lengthen your right leg and lift your right toes, pushing your heel, your right heel into the mat, spread your right toes wide, and just feel into it. And then bend into your right leg, inhale into high lunge, pulling your belly button in, pushing your heart up to the sky. And then on an exhale, start to bring your arms forward, shift your hips back again to lengthen out your right leg. So pushing into both of your feet, your left heel can be lifted. Pull your right hip back to lengthen the back of your right leg more. Look forward and then inhale to lift your left leg. Walk your hands beneath your shoulders and then exhale, bring both feet to meet, hips distance apart at the top of your mat. Fold forward, head heavy, and sway back and forth. On an inhale, lift halfway, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. On an inhale, pulling your belly button in, you're going to roll yourself back up to standing. Same as before, thumbs hook. You're going to push your ribs to the left. Inhale to center and then exhale to the right. Inhale to center and bring your hands in front of your chest in prayer position. Lift your right leg, flexed foot, and bring your right ankle above your left knee on your thigh and begin to sink in, pushing your tailbone back and your heart forward toward your thumbs. For standing pigeon, try to keep your head lifting. Inhale, back to standing on your left foot, and exhale, push your arms and your right foot forward. On an inhale, shift your right leg back as you open your arms and come into airplane. You're trying to create space between your right heel and your heart. Inhale, bringing your arms forward and gently bringing your right foot and your right knee onto the mat for low lunge. As we did before, shift your hips back, hands to the ground, and lengthen behind your left leg. Inhale. Bend into your left leg, but this time you're going to turn your right foot parallel to the back of the mat and come up into warrior. Opening your arms in a T, so your left hand pushing forward, right hand pushing back. Look down to see if you can see your left big toe. And if your knee is blocking your view, try to shift it more externally toward the left side of your mat. Inhale, right hand to right thigh, reverse warrior. And then bring your left hand forward as you lengthen your left leg and come into triangle. You can bring your left hand to the ground, or you can bring your left hand to the top of your left shin, give you a little bit more space. Once you choose your position, begin to lengthen your spine by pushing the crown of your head forward. If it's comfortable on your neck, you can look up toward your right hand. And then on an exhale, bring your right hand down. So your hands are on the inside of your left foot. Shift your hips back and lift your left toes. Really pushing into your left heel. And inhaling to lengthen your head forward. Move your hands to either side of your left foot and inhale, lift your right leg, step back up to the front of your mat. Fold forward. Let your head grow heavy, your spine grow long. Inhale to lift halfway, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. On an inhale, again, roll yourself up to standing, thumbs hook above your head, and you're going to exhale as you push your left hip over to the left. Inhale to center, and then exhale, right hip to the right. Inhale, center, and hands in prayer in front of your heart. Weight goes into your right foot. You're going to lift your left leg, left foot flexed. Bring your left ankle carefully onto your right knee and begin to bend your right leg, pushing your tailbone back and pushing your heart into your thumbs. Continuing to lift your head up as your hips sink down. Standing pigeon. Check in with your jaw that you're not holding any tension there. Come back up onto your right foot, and on an exhale, you're going to push your hands and your left foot forward. Inhale, begin to lengthen your left leg behind you, sweeping it back, opening your arms wide into airplane, creating a lot of space. Bring your hands forward, and you can bring your hands to the ground to step back onto your left foot if you feel more stable. Come into low lunge. And then on an exhale, shift your hips back, pushing into your right heel. Lift your right toes and spread them. Lengthen your spine. And then inhale, bend into your right leg. Bring your left foot parallel at the back of your mat and bring your arms up into a T, left hand leading the way. Drop your shoulders down away from your ears here. Again, check if you can see your right big toe and try to keep your right thigh going toward the right side of your mat. Next, inhale, left hand drops to your thigh. Open your right arm up above you. And then on an exhale, you're going to bring your right hand forward, lengthening out. and then placing your right hand on the mat for triangle. Left hand opens up to the sky. Continue to push equally into both feet and push the crown of your head forward. Draw your shoulder blades together. Deep breathing. Next exhale, look down, bring your left hand down. You can lift your left heel, lift your right toes, bend a little into both legs, and push into your right heel as you pull your right hip back, getting into the hamstrings on the right side again. Walk your hands forward, shift into your right foot, and bring your left foot up to meet the right. On an inhale, lift halfway, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Now, bring your hands behind your neck, right in the place where your head and your neck meet, with your fingers intertwined, and let that gently bring your head closer down toward the mat, lengthening your spine, but really delicately. No yanking or pulling. Bend your knees a little bit here. And then bring your hands back down to the mat. Bend your legs, bring your bum down to the ground to come to a seated position. Walk your feet out in front of you. Really push them into the mat, feet parallel. Lengthen your arms out, but integrate them by pulling them back into the shoulder sockets. Palms facing up. Pull your belly button in, and starting at your tailbone, you're going to roll down really slowly. So getting into some curious and interesting spots in our core. Slowly going down, and when you get into the places that make you shake a little, try to stay there. And then exhale, rolling all the way down. Take a moment to breathe and just feel the sensation. And then bending your legs, walk your heels in toward your bum, lift your right leg up, cross it over your left leg, and then let your legs drop over to the left. Open your arms like a cactus and try to pull your right shoulder back down closer to the mat. If it happens naturally that your gaze begins to turn over to the right, then let that happen. Just feel into the rotation. Check in with your face. The muscles of your face are relaxed. You're not carrying any tension in your jaw. Beginning to go into a softer and quieter space in your practice. Inhale to come back to center, lifting both feet up toward the ceiling. And then exhaling, bringing your right foot down to the mat, cross your left leg over, and then let both of your legs drop over to the right. You can bring your right hand to your left knee, open your left arm like a cactus out to the left, and try to draw your left shoulder down toward the mat. It doesn't have to actually get down to the mat, but that's the direction that you want activated in. Your next inhale, head comes back to center, legs come back to center, and pull both of your legs into your chest with knees bent. You can wrap your arms around your legs, hug yourself, and bring your forehead to your knees. Take a nice deep breath, and then exhale, lengthening your legs, lengthening your arms, and let everything drop back heavily onto your mat for Shavasana. And in Shavasana, the only task at hand is to just allow. So we don't want to get in the way of our body's absorption of our practice. Just allow yourself to feel the different sensations that pop up and are coursing through your body. Let your breathing come back to normal. And let yourself just be. Your body is heavy, no action. Next inhale, draw a little bit more air into your lungs. Feel the expansion of your chest. And then exhale, let it all out. Feel your body heavy on the mat. And then with your next inhale, begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, and then bringing your arms next to your ears, your legs together. Nice stretch from your hands down to your feet, just like you do in the morning when you wake up. And then exhale, bring your hands onto your belly. Take a couple of breaths. Feeling your breathing beneath your hands. Bend your legs, and from here you can roll onto your side with your head on your arm, and just let your body be heavy. And then without rushing, when you feel like you're ready, you can begin to come up to a seated position, and with your eyes still closed, take a nice long inhale up through your spine, fill up your chest, and exhale, let everything go. Bring your hands in front of your heart and thank yourself for taking the time to practice today.